Hello virtual learners! About 2 years ago, meron akong webinar na kinonduct kasama yung mga interested na mga kilala ko about virtual assistants, and I thought I share that with you here except sa Q&A part. So I hope that this video, although medyo may kahabaan ito kasi isang buong session binigay ko ang beginner's guide about freelancing, I hope that this can also help you out. So let me know sa comment section pag may mga questions. Enjoy. Housekeeping tips muna before we proceed, no? Ano tayo, kung meron kayong pen and paper, please have them with you para kung meron kayong kailangang i-take note, take note nyo rin yung mga ganon. Tapos, if you, avoid muna from any distraction kasi this is going to be a 2-hour learning. I'm hoping na talagang yung gusto kong matutunan nyo ay matutunan nyo, and my goal is to really help you out to get started with your freelancing journey. And also, so I will need your listening ears. Kahit naka-off yung camera nyo, okay lang, alam ko nandyan naman kayo. Pero as much as possible, remove yourselves from any possible distraction for at least 2 hours or 2.5 hours, depende sa Q&A sessions natin mamaya. And unmute your microphones. But you can turn on your camera if you like, ha? Lalo na gusto ko nakikita yung nanonood sa akin. Pero if nahihiya kayo, okay lang din. Okay. So a little bit about me, paano ba ako nagsimula, no? Ito yung naging journey ko. Back in August 2009, nag-start ako sa aking pinakaunang trabaho as an inventory assistant sa Pinkbox. Dito, wala siya dito sa Bataan pero meron siyang mga branches sa Metro Manila. Pinkbox is, yung mga girl accessories, mga anything girly stuff, yung mga niya. So inventory assistant ako doon. Before that, mga 2 months before ako nakapasok sa Pinkbox, nagkaroon ako ng opportunity na mag-aral sa TESDA ng technical course for call center agents. So yun ang naging pinaka-way ko para sa journey na ito. Pero before yun, nakapagtrabaho muna ako ng mga 3 months sa Pinkbox as an inventory assistant. And then in December 2009, I got my first call center job. This is after 7 call center applications. So kung nalulumo kayo sa mga nyo sa buhay na hindi kayo na-decline yung mga applications nyo, know that sometimes a decline is a redirection. So after 7 tries, nakapasok ako sa call center. My first job was in Sitel, and I was with Sitel for 1 year and 4 months. And then, in 2011, nag-resign ako sa Sitel. Yung back pay na nakuha ko sa Sitel ay ginamit ko pambili ng maliit na netbook. Yan. Maliit na netbook. At yun yung naging way ko para sa online freelancing. Pero bago yon, after ko mag-resign sa Sitel, nag-call center hopping muna ako. Parang from one call center to another. So nakatatlong call center din ako. And then in 2012, I got my very first client as a customer service representative. And I was with her for almost 7 years. So matagal akong nag-work sa trabahong ito. Kaya may iba na nagsasabi na unstable daw yung online job. It is not. Because may iba talaga na for long term ang position niya doon. Ayan. So nagtrabaho ako doon for almost 7 years, and during the course of time that I was with my first customer service rep job online, nag-aral-aral din ako about blogging at mga ibang bagay patungkol sa freelancing. And then in 2019, mga 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I decided I do not want to take calls anymore. Kasi customer service is about taking calls, 'di ba? Magsasagot ng mga inquiries, mumurahin ng mga customer. Yan yung pain points ng mga call center representatives. So sabi kong kahit na stable ang trabahong to, parang sabi ko na I need to resign so I can have a better opportunity for growth. So yun ang naging dahilan ng pag-exit ko, at hindi madali yung exit ko kasi nagkaroon din ng mga panahon na nahirapan ako. So nag-apply din muna, nakakuha ng mga part-time jobs muna until na nakahanap uli ng isang full-time job. And then currently at present ako ay customer service manager ng Zencastr, isang podcast production company sa US. And on the side, I am also a podcast production business owner na. So we just slowly started, and so I wanna be able to share this journey with you kasi lahat tayo may opportunity na makapagtrabaho online kapag ipinush talaga natin. Ayan. So today we are going to learn, number one, what is online freelancing, and then the different services that we can provide to different clients online. What to know to start online freelancing and where to find jobs. We'll also talk about different rates online. Ano ba yung reasonable, ano ba yung hindi. And of course, Q&A, question and answer portion sa towards the end of this session. Type 1 daw kung ready na ba? Ready na ba tayo? Ready na ba tayo dyan? Paki-type daw sa comment section ng 1. Ayan, okay. Okay, so ready na inyong mga listening ears. Ayan. Okay, proceed tayo. All right, so of course, feel free to ask any questions as we go along via chat or by raising your hand dito sa Zoom ha. Okay, I will definitely try my best to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, so what is online freelancing? Ano nga ba yung online freelancing? So according to Google, which is our very best friend, online freelancing enables self-employed people to find jobs all over the world and do them in their own homes, jobs without the internet they never would have known about. And online labor brokers are by and large easy to use and often low in cost. So bakit ginagamit ng mga companies bakit mas dumadami yung mga companies na naghahanap ng freelancers or ng mga employees nila online? It is because on their side, mas mababa ang cost ng production nila. So hindi na nila aalalahanin yung mga computers, yung mga internet ng mga employees nila, na mga magtatrabaho sa kanila. Ang kailangan na lang nila yung mga tools na kailangan nila to run their company. Wala na silang iisiping mga rental sa office. That is why, especially yung mga maliliit na mga clients or mga entrepreneurs, doon sila nagsisimula sa maghanap ng workers sa online kasi it really helps them save costs. So yun ang online freelancing. And then on our end to, kaya tinatawag siyang win-win. It's a win-win situation kasi on our end also as employees, kahit na majority of these jobs do not have benefits, do not have healthcare and other bonuses, ang nasi-save mo sa time talaga yung pinakamalaking advantage mo. So may mga advantages and disadvantages pero you have to figure out kung ano yung pinaka-need mo. And in my case, talagang I wanted to be able to save time sa travel, sa kung ano pang pagbibihis na kailangan. Minsan nagtatrabaho, pumapasok sa trabaho nang di naliligo. Hindi mo kailangan mag-worry kasi online lang naman eh. So ayun. So that is online freelancing. Nowadays, people from all over the world are looking for online freelancers. Sa US, sa UK, Australia, those three, Canada, number 4, are among the companies who are really looking for online freelancers. And the good news is they know and they understand that Filipinos are pulido magtrabaho. Majority of the Filipinos. So over time, tayo mga Pinoy, nagkaroon na tayo, kahit hindi pa man kayo nakapag-apply, no? Nagkaroon na tayo ng magandang track record dahil sa mga naonang virtual assistants sa atin. Kaya marami ang mga clients na naghahanap ng Filipino freelancers. Okay. Next. So think of it this way. It's easier to think of online freelancing as this: secretary, call center agent. So mga ganyang trabaho, alam natin, di ba? Mga secretary, call center agents, teachers, voice-over actors, writers, email or chat support, at marami pang iba. But everything is done on the internet or online. So kahit anong trabaho, meron ngayon tumutulong mag-book ng ticket para sa clients nila. Kahit anong trabaho, marami na ngayon online. So it is the simplest way to explain online freelancing is all the jobs that are available online. So any jobs, pwede kang maging real estate broker online, pwede kang maging lawyer online, maging consultant, maging attorney, lahat can also be available online. And when your work is done online, then you are doing an online freelancing job. Okay. So other words for online freelancing, iba't ibang mga terms na ginagamit for online freelancing na halos pareho lang naman yung ibig sabihin is number one is the very common, which is VA or virtual assistants. So virtual assistants is ganun din, online freelancing of course. Virtual assistants is a general term. So kapag lahat, for example, lahat tayo may online job, di ba? So ang tawag sa ating lahat ay virtual assistants. Ngayon, pag tinanong ka na, anong klaseng virtual assistant ka, doon ka na magsa-subgroup. Oh, I am a virtual assistant, but yung pinakatrabaho ko ay customer service or customer support. Ayan. So parang siyang umbrella term ang virtual assistant. And then as you funnel down sa pinakatrabaho mo, doon na meron ng social media managers, meron ng online teacher, ESL teachers, meron ng mga project managers at iba't iba pang mga job descriptions. And again, they are under the same roof, which is virtual assistants, only because our jobs are done online. Okay, next is, of course, online jobs, very common. So another term for online freelancing is online jobs. And the very common one, yung mga marites natin, sinasabi, online selling. Online selling yung mas naintindihan nila kasi mas maraming nagla-live, nagpapamind eh. So kapag sinabing online job, akala nila online selling lahat. Naalala ko, nagpabakuna ako, sabi, ano pong trabaho niyo ma'am? Sabi ko, ano po, virtual assistant po or VA. I was trying to make sure na mas simple yung salita ko. Tapos sabi niya in the end, online selling po. Sabi ko na lang, sige, para para wala nang mahabang paliwanagan. Sige, yes po, online selling po. So yun yung naging kwento ng pagpapabakuna ko. But yeah, these are the most common terms that we are interchangeably using when it comes to online freelancing. Okay, so just like any other freelancing jobs, alam natin yung freelancing dito sa yung local. Mga photographers, they are called freelancers. Yung mga walang kontrata, walang pinirmahang oras kung anong oras sila mag-log out, mag-log in, walang mga benefits. So yun ang mga freelancers, mga actors, yun sila mga freelancers. So ganun din sa online. So just like any other freelancing jobs, online freelancing can be, number one, a one-time job. Ito yung project-based. Parang, I need someone to help me with this and that's it. Pag na-deliver mo yung service mo na yon, tapos ang trabaho, tapos ang kontrata nyo, tapos goodbye. Kung kailangan kanya uli, then babalikan kanya at kakausapin kanya uli. I have another task for you. So it can be one time. And then it can also be a part-time job. Part-time job is parang hindi masyadong maraming oras yung ginagawa mo dyan, kaya kaya mo pang mag-handle ng iba pang clients. That is part-time. So it can be 2 hours a week, 4 hours a week, or kaya naman 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day. Depende. But as long as it is not 8 hours, yun na nakasanayan natin. As long as it is not 8 hours, it is called a part-time job. And then of course, there are also something called full-time position. Full-time position is you are under an employment, you have a contract, may pinirmahan kayong something or may pinag-usapan kayo, and then it is most likely a long-term position. So full-time position is madalas dito mayroon din silang mga kasunduan talaga. So yun ang difference nila. And then it can also be scheduled or output-based. So scheduled is yun na yung, I need you to clock in at this specific time and I need you to clock out at this specific time. Ganito yung trabaho ko sa Zencastr. Ang login time ko is 9 p.m. and then ang log out time ko is 5 a.m. the following day. So yun ang mga klase ng mga online freelancing na scheduled ang trabaho. Meron din namang part-time jobs na scheduled pa rin. For example, yung client mo from the UK wants to make sure na you are online by the time na ginagawa din nila yung trabaho nila para to avoid back and forths, no? So sasabihin niya, can you please log in? Can you please make sure that you are online around these times? So it can also be like that. Kapag scheduled, hindi lahat ng full-time position ay scheduled at hindi rin lahat ng part-time position ay hindi scheduled. Depende sa client kung ano yung pinaka-arrangement na gusto niya at kung ano yung napagkasunduan ninyo. And then it can also be an output-based. Kagaya nga ng sinabi ko, it can be a one-time job or output-based lang. For example, yung mga trabaho namin sa podcast production, walang clock in time, walang clock out time. Basta you are able to deliver what is expected of you to be delivered at that specific time, then you are good. Ano ang maganda dito sa output-based? Wala kang iniisip na oras. Basta nagawa mo yung trabaho mo, then okay kayo. Wala kayong problema. So it can be scheduled or output-based, of course, and then it can also be a long-term or a short-term project. So around February, meron akong naging short-term na project na tinulungan ko yung client na mag-launch ng kanyang podcast. So short-term siya kasi isang buwan lang tapos na yung trabaho. Binayaran niya ako, binayaran ko siya, nagbigay siya ng review sa akin, nagbigay din ako ng review sa kanya, tapos ang kontrata, tapos ang trabaho. But then we also have something called long-term. Ito yung mga madalas na long-term jobs are full-time jobs. Pero again, not all full-time positions guarantee a long-term position. So depende talaga, hindi mo masabi. Pero ito yung mga klase ng mga trabaho na pwede mong i-expect kapag nag-online freelancing ka. So, kagaya ng trabaho ko sa pinakauna kong trabaho na almost 7 years ako sa kanya, 'di ba? So that one was a full-time and a long-term position. Ayan, yung trabaho ko sa Zencastr ngayon, that's a long-term and a full-time position. Meron din akong trabaho kay Dr. Berry, yung una kong podcast na client na that one is an output-based, okay? That's a part-time, an output-based, but a long-term position also. Kasi 3 years na kaming nagwo-work together. Then meron ding client na part-time lang, mga 10 hours a week lang ako. Tapos, hindi siya scheduled, output-based siya, but it is also a long-term position because I have already been with her for a year and for more than a year. So depende, again, anything is possible with online freelancing. Kaya kailangan, this is something that you have to make sure na you understand and your client agrees also before starting to work for them. And then lastly, it can be a fixed rate or hourly rate. So meron mga client na mas gusto nila na, ito lang yung trabaho na gusto kong gawin mo and this is the amount I can pay you for now, or this is the amount that I would like to pay you for this specific work. So that is fixed rate. Ibig sabihin, kapag medyo nagka-aberya sa internet mo at natagalan kang mag-deliver ng output mo, the pay is the same. Kung mabilis kang gumawa dahil nasanay ka nang gawin yung trabaho na yon, for example, something that you've been doing before for an hour, dahil sa tagal mo na siyang ginagawa, 30 minutes mo na lang siyang nagagawa. But your pay is fixed rate, the pay is still the same. So for example, ano ang advantage ng fixed rate? Ang maganda dito is dahil habang tumatagal tayo sa trabaho, nasasanay na tayo sa ginagawa natin. So the more we do the job, the shorter, most of the time, the shorter it gets for us to do it. Ibig sabihin, kapag tapos mo na to, pwede ka pang maghanap ng ibang client na fixed rate din at output-based na client. Kasi you are now able to do more because of the nature of the job that you have, na fixed rate lang siya. Meron namang hourly rate. Kung sa labor, ito yung pakyawan at arawan, di ba? Ayan. So meron tayong nakikitang mga, as a client, on the client side, meron tayong nakikitang mga advantages and disadvantages pagdating sa pakyawan or arawan. Yung pakyawan, nakikita natin na, alam ko na hindi talaga, alam ko na yung budget ko lang talaga yung mag-google ko para sa gawaing ito. Pero pag arawan, okay din dahil, okay, sige. So, 1 week lang muna kasi ito lang yung kaya ko. So, meron din tayong mga nakikita mga disadvantage dyan, di ba? Kasi yung mga nag-aarawan, nagpipetics, yung mga pakyawan, hindi nila ginagawa ng pulido yung trabaho nila. Parang ganun siya in the simplest form. Ganun din sa online freelancing. So, merong mga hourly and fixed rate. Ayan. Okay, next. Any questions before we proceed? Okay, walang question. Tuloy tayo ha. Okay, ano ang puhunan natin sa pag-online freelancing? Ayan. Unang-una, lakas ng loob or confidence. Bakit? Kasi majority of the clients are going to be foreigners. So kapag kinakabahan ka, dinadaga ka kasi natatakot ako mag-ano kasi yung aking Grahams ay hindi sure. Bali-baliktad yung Grahams ko. Natatakot pa ako makipag-usap sa clients. Kailangan mo yon. So, kailangan practicein mo. How do you even practice na magkaroon ng lakas ng loob? Siyempre, by sending more and more applications and getting more and more interviews. That's the only way for you na masanay ka. Another way for me was, dati takot din ako makipag-usap sa mga foreigners, di ba? Tapos one time, sa call center training namin, talagang kasama sa grading system namin, yung kausapin namin yung client. So, sa mga fellowships, sa mga TCM fellowships, ayan, gustong-gusto ko yan kasi you have the opportunity to talk to freelancers at masanay ka magsalita, magkaroon ng lakas ng loob. So, ayun. Pero kung wala ang mga ganong or resources sa'yo, what do you do? Siyempre, you watch more and more English films. Practice more and more sa isip mo or magsalita ng English, ganyan. Because if you think English, that's the only time na mas mabilis sa'yo magsalita din ng English. So, lakas ng loob for sure and confidence. Marami sa mga freelancers, they fake it till they make it. Ganon yung ginagawa nila. Kasi that is the only way. Talagang 50% of the possibility of you getting hired comes from confidence. Ayan. Of course, faith in God. Kasi mananampalataya tayo, naniniwala tayo na kung maipasa man natin yung application na yan, that is God's will. At hindi man natin maipasa yung application na yan, that is still God's will. Okay, and of course, pangmalakasang determination. Okay, so consistency is key when it comes to online freelancing. You cannot expect an overnight success. So, pasa ng application, go and take a lot of interviews, and then pasa uli hanggang sa masanay ka. But then again, huwag kang tumigil dahil lang hindi ka pumasa. So, determination talaga, magpatuloy ng magpatuloy. And then of course, on the financial end, you definitely need a computer or a laptop. Merong ibang mga trabaho na pwede na daw ngayon sa sa cellphone, but then of course, those jobs are very, very limited. Majority of the jobs needs for the employee to have a computer or at least a laptop to proceed. And then when it comes to specs naman, hindi lahat. Depende din sa klase ng trabaho na meron ka. Pero likely, ang recommended na ngayon is at least Intel i5 na computer for Windows. Ayan. And then, of course, we need internet connection. Kaya nga tinatawag siyang online freelancing or online job is because it is powered by the internet. So, kailangan na meron talaga tayong stable na internet connection to be able to deliver our jobs. And then, again, consistency. Consistency in sending your applications, consistency in upskilling, yung improving yourselves, improving your skills in learning, consistency in getting more and more interested into freelancing. Ano ba yung pwede mo pang matutunan pagdating sa bagay na to? Ano ba yung kailangan mo pang aralin? Ano ba yung kailangan mo pang i-improve? So, it is as we know, learning is a never-ending process and it takes one step at a time. So we have to be very consistent. Ito yung mga puhunan natin when it comes to online freelancing and actually in life in general, madalas. Okay, and of course, the basic English skills. Hindi lahat ng trabaho ay nangangailangan ng spoken dollars na English. Hanggat maintindihan ka nila, okay na yon. Yung iba naman, kagaya ng customer service jobs, syempre, mas mataas yung required nilang English knowledge ng mga employees is because you are going to talk to their users. So they wanted to make sure na at least kahit paano above average yung iyong English speaking skills. Either that's in writing or kaya naman speaking. Ayun. Questions? Wala pa rin questions? Tuloy tayo. Ayan. So what are the different services that you can offer as an online freelancer? Ano-ano nga ba yung mga trabaho na pwede nating makuha online at ano-ano yung mga services or mga knowledge na pwede nating matutunan para makapag-deliver tayo ng mga online services. Okay? Importante before I discuss all these. Ayan. As I discuss this, I need you to figure out which one interests you the most and you focus on it. Kasi ang freelancing ay isang malawak na quiapo din. Hindi mo you cannot be the jack of all trade. Hindi pwedeng bukas ang a-applyan mo ay customer support, tapos the following day ang applyan mo ay social media. You are trying to know everything. Hindi ganyan. Hindi ganyan. Kagaya ng doktor, meron silang kanya-kanyang specialist, di ba? Fields of expertise na tinatawag. Ganun din ang freelancing. So again, I'm going to discuss each and every possible jobs that you can get online and I want you to think, really think, kung ano dito yung sa tingin mo ay para sa'yo, yung may kirot sa puso, may lukso ng dugo. Ayan. Okay. So voice jobs. Ano ba yung voice jobs? Of course, any jobs that requires for your voice. Kailangan na yung boses ang puhunan mo. So kapag napaos ka, hindi mo ma-deliver yung trabaho mo. So these are customer service and tech support. So dito ako nagsimula sa freelancing kasi yun ang naging baon ko sa pagtatrabaho ko. Yung pinaka naging baon ko or stepping stone ko para makapasok sa online job was my experience sa call center. So yan. Customer service and tech support is one of the jobs that you can offer sa online. Marami na ngayon na mga maliliit na mga companies, yung mga starting or kaya small businesses na naghahanap ng customer service and tech support. Bakit naghahanap sila ng online freelancers? Kasi if they go to call centers, sobrang laki ng babayaran nila. So again, going back to the reasons why clients go online instead is for them to cut costs. So ayan, meron tayo. Customer service is anything na anything that helps, anything that is customer facing. Mga tanong about the product, mga inquiries, mga technical assistance, mga problema sa mga products na nabili nila. Anything that happened after sales is called customer support. So pagkatapos bumili ng customer, sila ay mapupunta sa customer support. So yan ang isa sa mga trabaho na pwede nating hanapin online. And then, of course, we have ESL teachers here. English as a secondary language is one of the very common online jobs. So alam ko yung ESL, correct me if I'm wrong, nandito si Ma'am Ella, si Ma'am Roma, si Ma'am Faith. No? It is hourly and you can set yung time mo kung kailan merong minimum and whatever you have you. Basta, ito yung mga Koreans, mga Japanese, mga Chinese na nangangailangan ng tulong para matuto silang magsalita ng English. Okay. Then we have sales and appointment setters. Calls pa rin, boses pa rin ang puhunan nito. Ito sila yung mga naghahanap ng mga leads. Sila yung tumatawag sa mga potential clients ng kanilang company. So sila yung mga tumatawag para magbenta ng mga kung ano-ano, magbenta ng mga bagay or kaya mga plans or mga any products. So ito sila yung madalas na, aside from customer support, itong mga sales and appointments, salespersons, isa din sila sa pinapagalitan kasi minsan pag nagkamali ka ng oras sa pagtawag, madaling araw pa pala, tulog pa yung tinawagan, magagalit yan sila. Appointment setters, ito rin ay outbound naman ang tawag dito, no? Madalas outbound or ikaw yung unang tumatawag sa customer. Whereas sa customer support and tech support, madalas dito inbound. Ibig sabihin, yung customer ang nag-i-initiate ng call at ikaw ay taga-tanggap lang. And then sa appointment setting naman or sales, ikaw ang tumatawag sa kanila. Ayan. Appointment setters is, in the word itself, appointment. Ikaw yung ikaw yung magkukumbinsi sa tao na mag-set ng appointment with your client para magkapag-usap sila. So that is appointment setters. And then of course, voice over gigs. Merong mga, kung alam nyo yung Fiverr.com, sobrang dami doong Filipino na voice over actors. And they are earning a lot also. Ang ilan sa kanila for a 30-second na, yung mga naririnig natin sa mga advertisements, di ba? Kaya mga 30 seconds lang na ad na yan, a lot of them are being paid from $50 to $500 just for that. Depende sa kung gaano na sila katagal, gaano na sila kagaling. So definitely voice over gigs is also one of the freelance jobs that you can offer online. Questions? Walang questions, tuloy tayo. Ayan, non-voice jobs. Ano ba yung non-voice? Of course, from the word itself, any jobs na hindi mo kailangang magsalita. So, ibig sabihin, madalas dito ay hindi masyadong required na maalam ka or mahusay kang magsalita ng English. As long as you are able to converse with your client, nagkakaintindihan kayo, okay lang yun kahit bali-baliko yung yung English mo. Basta you are able to explain yourself. Ika nga. Ayan. So, ano-ano nga ba itong mga non-voice jobs? Mas marami, surprisingly. Ayan, for example, admin staff or general virtual assistant. General virtual assistant is yung parang, yun din, parang you are trying to learn almost everything. Parang ganun lang siya. Very general. Kaya nga, merong mga family doctors, kumbaga, sa sa medical field. So, you can be an admin staff or a general virtual assistant. Siguro kung kakailanganin mo man ang boses mo sa ganitong klaseng trabaho, it is only during the time that you are meeting with your client. Parang nag-sync kayo, nag-touch base kayo. O ano yung kailangan nating, ano mga pending tasks natin, ano yung mga gusto kong ma-implement for the next 3 months, for the next 2 months, ganyan. So yun lang. But you will never be talking to a customer using your voice sa mga admin staff or general virtual assistants na trabaho. Email and chat support. Ito ang trabaho ko ngayon sa Zencastr. So, customer service pa rin siya, but it is non-voice. So, hindi namin kailangan ng naka-headphone, naka-headset, naka-microphone. Hindi. Dahil the only time we would use our voice naman is during meetings din. Meron kaming team meetings, team huddles, or kaya meeting with our boss, mga ganon. So yun lang. You will never be talking to a customer. So yun, email and chat support. Chat support. Ewan ko kung napapansin nyo sa mga websites. Merong ibang websites na meron silang maliliit na mga chat buttons sa lower right side ng kanilang page. Doon, pag nag-message sila doon, mapupunta yan sa mga chat support reps. And the chat support reps will handle the tickets for them. Ayan, social media management. What is social media management? From the word itself, social media. So you are going to manage their social media profiles. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube minsan, Facebook group, Facebook page, LinkedIn, any social media channels, because as we know, social media can take up a lot of time also. So yung client, kaya sila naghahanap ng maayos na social media managers is because hindi na nila kaya. Hindi na nila kayang mag-isip ng content na ilalagay nila sa kaya na. Ayan, so social media managers. So pag nakita nyo minsan, sumilip kayo sa mga sikat na, like not celebrities ha, mga kilalang mga business owners, makikita mo yung iba minsan dyan, napakaganda ng feed nila, lalo na sa Instagram, napaka-curated, nakasunod lahat sa branding nila, pati yung kulay, pati yung font, parang ang sarap sa mata. Gawa yan ng social media managers nila. Ayan, yung mga TikTok nila, yung mga videos nila sa TikTok, minsan, kaya nilang gumawa ng videos pero hindi na nila kayang ayusin. So yun, doon pumapasok yung mga social media managers. Sila yung nag-iisip ng pwedeng gawing content, ano yung mga strategy na gagawin nila para mas maging engaging pa yung page. Paano ba nila mapapacomment yung mga followers nila? Yan ang trabaho ng social media manager. And then next is Data entry or data encoder. Itong data entry and data encoder, ito yung mga madalas ito yung mga pa-captcha, yung napansin nyo, may mga pa-ganon. Pero may mas mga legit pa dyan na mga trabaho, maliban sa CAPTCHA. Basta any data that you have to move from one place to another is called data entry. Yung when you are copying information from the website, tapos ilalagay mo sa spreadsheet para makita ng customer, that is data entry. Kung kailangan mo maghanap ng mga list of 100 doctors in this area, so you have to use the internet for that, and then you move it into you copy paste their information and then you move it to a spreadsheet and then submit it to your client. That is data entry. Okay, next. Accounting and or bookkeeping. Nandito si Frankie. Kinausap ko si Frankie before. Sabi ko, Frankie, pwede kang magtrabaho online kapag graduate mo sa accountancy. Accounting and bookkeeping. Ito yung mga they help the businesses with anything financial. So sa reports, sa liquidation at lahat ng mga ganyang sobrang laki din ng malaki din ang offers dito sa accounting and bookkeeping na trabaho. If you have an Upwork account, makikita nyo, magsa-search kayo doon, marami ang mga Pilipino din na accounting and bookkeepers doon. Kailangan sila every company needs an accounting or a bookkeeper. Kahit nga sa ko na nagsisimula pa lang yung maliit na business ko, kinailangan ko na ng tulong ng accounting, ng bookkeeper. Ayan. So kailangan siya. And if there is a need, of course, there should be a demand. Kaya maraming mga Pilipino na dito sila nag-focus sa accounting and bookkeeping. What else? E-commerce, virtual assistant. E-commerce is online jobs. Not online jobs. Online shops. So Amazon, Shopify, Shopee, Alibaba, yan, lahat yan sila, trabaho yan ng e-commerce virtual assistants. Ano ang ginagawa nila doon? Sila yung nagli-list ng mga products, mga product listers, sila yung mga naghahanap ng mga product na pwedeng ibenta, nagre-research, sila yung nag-handle or kaya gumagawa ng website para sa client, sila yung naglalagay ng mga produkto na binibenta para sa mga customers, sila yung nagpa-process ng orders. Anything that is online shopping related is handled by an e-commerce virtual assistant. Lead generation. Ayan. Lead generation is, hindi ito yung lead na leader ha. Yung lead na parang, itong taong to, pwede ko siyang maging client. So halimbawa ako, kung ang service ko ay podcast production, ang lead ko ay lahat ng podcasters. So, kung kukuha ako ng lead generation specialist, ang magiging trabaho niya sa akin ay hahanap siya ng listahan ng mga podcasters. Ibibigay niya sa akin. Dahil kukontakin ko yun isa-isa para ma-offeran ko ng business ko. So, ganoon ang lead generation. Meron akong lead generation job in the past for 6 months lang din naman. Ang hinahanap naman namin is mga business owners. Kasi yung product namin that time is yung video animated ads, yung mga ganyan. So naghahanap kami ng mga business owners para i-offer namin sa kanila to na did you know that you can do this, or you can do a video, an online ad, and boost your revenue and all that. So yan ang trabaho ng lead generation. Siya naghahanap ng mga listahan ng mga 500 business owners. Ibibigay niya sa client and then si client ang kukontak kay lead. Ayan. So when kapag ang lead ay naging positive yung yung after makausap, 'di ba? After siya makausap, nagiging prospect siya. After niya maging prospect, then the lead becomes a client. So funnel din siya. So from lead magiging prospect and then prospect first, prospect sila, and then naging lead sila because possible na pwede silang maging client, and then naging client talaga pag na-close na yung sales. Okay, next is transcriptionist. Transcriptionist are those people na yung audio ay kinonvert nila into a text file. So yan ang trabaho ng transcriptionist. Madalas dito ay meron ng mga apps ngayon na gumagawa nito, nagge-generate nito, but then ang transcriptionist may trabaho pa rin kasi ang trabaho naman nila ay to double check to make sure na tama yung tin-transcribe ng website. Kasi websites are robots and it's not 100% accurate sa mga tin-transcribe nila. So doon papasok ang tao, human transcriptionists. Ayan. Next, ano pa? Graphic design. Graphic design, to mga logos, mga social media, artworks, anything that is visual. So, minsan presentation sa slide, hindi yan kayang gawin ng clients, kaya ginagawa ng graphic designers. YouTube thumbnails, may ganyang trabaho na para sa graphic design. Sa minsan sila din yung nagko-curate ng mga feeds ng mga client. So, yan ang graphic design. Project management. Ayan, project management is parang mas mabilis siyang isipin kung yung sa kasal, anong tawag dyan sa kasal? Merong isang nagmamanage din. Ano ngayon? Ano man, Faith? Ito, may bagong kasal eh. Coordinator, ayun. Coordinator, ayan. So, wedding coordinator. Project manager is like a wedding coordinator. So, siya yung kakausap sa ikakasal. Ano bang gusto nyo? Anong plano nyo? Anong motive nyo? Anong mga plano nyo gusto nyo mangyari sa kasal nyo? And then, from there, isipin ng coordinator, itong kukontakin ko para sa product na yan. Ito yung kukontakin ko para dito. Ito yung kukontakin ko para dyan. So, yan ang trabaho ng project manager. Meron akong project management job in the past. Ang nangyari is, ako yung kumakausap sa client after nilang bumili. Tapos, dahil video production nga yung project ay yung trabaho namin noon, my job as a project manager is to liaise between the client and yung mga gagawa ng trabaho. So, I make sure that the project is delivered on time and on quality. Ako yung kukontak sa gumagawa ng scripts, ako yung kukontak sa gumagawa ng videos, ako yung kumukontak doon sa nagpa-publish ng mga videos, ganyan. And then of course, ito yung kasama dito sa trabaho is to make sure na lahat is on deadline. So yan ang pinaka-importante sa project manager, na dapat everything meets the deadline and everything is within budget. So yun ang gawain ng project manager, which is something that is, kung organized ka, mamahalin mo ang project management jobs. Kasi gustong-gusto mo yung, maayos siya. Hindi ka mapalagay kapag wala na, malayo na kayo sa deadline, mag-aaligaga ka na. So yan ang another non-voice job that you can offer to your clients. What else? Next is data analyst. Data analyst medyo pang brainy. Yung lahat ng numbers and all that graphs and statistics, sila yung mag-a-analyze niyan, and then they talk to the clients and say, this is what I found based on the numbers. So everything is run by numbers when it comes to data analysts. And then from there, after nila ma-discuss, sasabihin nila, because this is what we have in the statistics, ganito yung magiging action plan natin moving forward. So yan ang data analysis. And then, there are also video editors. Video editors, from the word itself, nag-e-edit ng video. Madalas dito sa mga YouTubers kasi sobrang video editing takes a lot of time. So pag inubos ng client yung oras niya sa paggawa ng video, hindi na siya makafocus sa ibang bagay na mas importante pa sa kanya para ma-generate palalo yung business niya. Kaya ang ginagawa niya is binibigyan niya yung trabaho sa iba. Kaya tayo mga Pinoy ngayon, meron tayong video editing jobs kasi kailangan nila ang tulong natin. What else? Podcast manager or producer, dito ako nag-focus. Ayan. So dito ang expertise ko. Ayan. Podcast manager. So syempre ang client mo ay podcaster. So anything after they record their episodes, the rest of the jobs ay sa amin, sa team ko. So, paglilinis ng audio, paggawa ng mga captions na para sa websites nila, pag-publish sa websites, pag-spread out ng information sa social media, kapag na-publish na yung podcast, that's the job of a podcast producer or a podcast manager. Web developer, ito pang-IT. Pang-IT naman, no? Gagawa ng website, mag-maintain ng website, gagawa ng mga codes para sa clients nila. Sobrang marami ako nakita ng mga web developers, kahit Pinoy, na sobrang laki ng na-earn nila because of this. Because web developers are on demand sila. In fact, sa amin sa trabaho, sila yung pinakamalalaki yung sahod. Kasi without them, hindi makakagawa ng application ng isang company. So web developers, mga ITs, ito yung dito sila napupunta after nilang mag-work kung gusto nilang mag-online job. Real estate coordinator. Wala, hindi nakapasok si Pastor Jonathan, pero dito siya. Dito naman yung niya. Real estate. Real estate is like anything house, anything lupa or mga properties. Ayun, yun ang term. Properties. Yan. Yan ang trabaho ng mga real estate coordinators. Minsan tumutulong din sila sa mga sa mga potential clients or kaya potential clients ng client nila. Ayun. Baka malito kayo. Ayan. Tapos mga questions, sumasagot din sila sa mga questions ng mga potential clients. So yan ang work ng real estate coordinators. And then translator. Okay. So meron tayong mga translators. Kung maalam kang mag-Spanish, use it to your advantage kasi malaki ang bayad sa mga translators. Kung maalam kang meron ba tayo? Okay, manood na kayo ng Korean para Korean novela para makapag-translate kayo ng English to Korean or Korean to English. Malaki din yung trabaho dito. Kahit sa local nakikita natin, 'di ba? Mga translators, mga pag may nagta-travel, sila yung kumakausap sa kanila. Malaki din yung pay. Malaki din yung pay nila dito. Writer. So writers are also a very good online non-voice online job. Saan ba ginagamit yung writers? Ginagamit siya para sa YouTube captions, ginagamit siya para sa Instagram or social media captions, ginagamit siya sa website pag merong blog ang website, ginagamit siya sa article itself pag gumawa ng article, ginagamit siya para mag-reach out sa mga potential clients ng client mo. So malaki, napakalaki ng opportunity for writers also to sa online. Even the email, yung kung paano nila sinusulat yung mga email messages nila sa pag nagsisend sila ng email sa mga subscribers nila, that is also a job of a writer. So if you are into writing, you might want to learn more about this at baka ito yung para sa iyo. Executive assistant. Executive assistant is like secretary. So anything that your client needs, you help. Scheduling a calendar appointment or telling them ano yung trabaho ay ano yung schedule mo ngayon. Meron kang meeting with this person, meron kang meeting with that person, meron kang kailangang pirmahan na magganito, meron kang kailangang pirmahan na ganyan. Trabaho yan lahat ng executive assistant. So, hindi siya voiced but most of the time you're only ang iniisip mo lang ay hindi customer kung hindi yung client mo. Siya yung directly kausap mo lagi. Kasi yun ang scope ng trabaho mo. And then content planner. Content is yung content yung mga laman ng Instagram, yung mga laman ng social media, yung mga laman ng YouTube, lahat yan sila tinatawag na content. So anything that is produced, whether it's video, audio, written, lahat yun ay mga content na tinatawag. Now, as a content planner, ikaw yung mag-iisip kung ano ba yung pwede mong i-produce na content na magiging relevant sa mga subscribers ng client mo. For example, ano ba yung pwede kong i-produce this week o last week? Mother's Day last week, so I should post something or I should create a video about Mother's Day. I should create a post about Mother's Day. I should create an article about Mother's Day. So yun ang trabaho ng content planner. Pinaplano niya ahead kung ano yung mga pwedeng content na napapanahon, ganyan. So yun ay isa din sa mga trabaho online. And then inbox management. What's the difference between inbox management and email customer support? Inbox management is hindi lahat ng nasa email ay from a customer. So dahil ikaw ang in charge inbox na yan, your job is to make sure that it is clean, it is answered, and then kung kailangan na sabihin mo sa client mo na urgent to, kailangan mo sagutin to, sasabihan mo yung client mo. But again, hindi lahat na Ang inbox management is you just want to make sure that everything about that specific inbox is taken care of. Walang na-miss, kung kailangan ng follow-up, ikaw yung nagpa-follow up. And then, hindi lahat ng kausap mo ay customers. Minsan, client ng client mo ang kausap mo sa inbox management. Any questions? Tahimik ang mga tao. May tanong? Ang haba nun. Nakapag-isip ba kayo kung ano sa tingin nyo yung para sa inyo doon? Tuloy ako, ha? Okay. Okay, basic requirements. Basic requirements when it comes to online jobs. Na-discuss ko na to slightly kanina, but I wanna go over it again. Laptop or computer. Kung ang trabaho mo ay hindi naman pang malakasan ang kailangan, for example, mga sulat-sulat lang, konting Google searches lang, kayang-kaya kahit one i3 na computer or laptop, kayang-kaya niya. Pero kapag meron ng involved na video editing or kaya mga mabibigat na processes na running at the same time, then you might need more. May ibang clients na sinusulat na nila kung ano yung kailangan nila. Doon sa job description pa lang, sasabihin nila, I will need for you to have at least an i5 computer and then an internet speed of 50 Mbps and above. Merong ibang clients na nagsusulat na ng ganon. May mga requirements sila. And then, before they would hire you, they would check your specs to make sure na, hindi naman pala 50 Mbps yung internet. Sorry, hindi ka talaga namin pwedeng tanggapin. A long time ago, siguro 2013. 2013 may in-applyan akong appointment setting job. Meron silang internet requirement na 10 Mbps. 10 Mbps ang plan ko, pero alam mo naman sa Pilipinas, di ba, up to 10 Mbps yung sinasabi nila. So during the time na ini-check niya yung specs ko, syempre dahil busy ang araw yun, nung chinek niya yung specs ko, dahil nga up to lang yung sinabi ng Globe. 5 Mbps lang talaga yung kinaya dun sa speed test result. Wala, hindi talaga ako natanggap. So may mga ganong klaseng clients. Bakit nila nire-require to? Kasi ikaw din ang mahihirapan kung hindi mo na-meet yung ano. Kaya they wanted to make it clear ahead of time na. So that you can also prepare. If you really want that job, then you would prepare and upgrade your plan or upgrade your internet or upgrade your computer specs if you really want that job. And then of course, strong and stable internet connection. Merong strong na internet connection. Yung mga 4G, they are strong. But are they stable? Hindi. Bakit? Kasi over the air sila. Umulan lang sandali, bababa yung internet speed mo. So what is the strongest and most stable na type of internet? It is definitely yung naka-LAN cable. Yung nakasaksak talaga siya. Yun ang pinaka-stable na internet connection. And then again, basic English communication skills. Especially if your job is non-voice. Kailangan kahit basic com skills. So how do you practice that? Again, watch movies, think English. Kasi minsan tayo mga Pinoy, dahil nga Tagalog is our first language, Filipino or Bicol or Bisaya is our first language. Second language lang talaga natin ang English. Ang ginagawa natin is in our mind, pinapasok natin yung Tagalog natin. Tapos, inaano ni Tagalog, tinatransliterate niya bago pa lumabas sa bibig natin. Kaya tayo nahihirapan. Whereas if you think English, like isipin mo, magkukunwari tayong mas madali siyang mas madali mo siyang masabi. And then again, it takes time. Kailangan practicein mo talaga yung sarili mo magsalita ng English. There is no way but to practice yourself in speaking English para talagang mas masanay ka ng masanay. Kaya nga mga call center agents, kahit na hindi ganun ka okay yung com skills mo kung nabigyan ka ng call center ng opportunity, paglabas mo talaga dyan, matututo ka. Why? Because day in and day out, tumatanggap ka, nagre-receive ka ng calls. Mapipilitan ka talagang English kasi wala kang choice. Okay, let's proceed with job hunting. Where do we find online jobs? Saan tayo nakakahanap ng mga online jobs? Number 1 is Upwork. Very, very common. Upwork is a website na doon nagpo-post ng jobs ang mga job seekers at doon din naghahanap ng trabaho ang mga job hunters. So, paano ka makakapasok sa Upwork? Kasi yung si Upwork ngayon is, ano siya, very populated, overpopulated na rin yung Upwork. Marami ng freelancers doon naghahanap ng trabaho. So, how do you even get in? So, kailangan, kung ang trabaho mo ay social media manager, syempre hindi mo nagagamitin yung social media manager na term. Kung iibahin mo yung pangalan mo. Pwede sigurong social media strategist, social media analyst, social media or social media content planner, social media content creator. Depende, you twist your words. Para kasi si Upwork, kapag very generalized na yung term mo, posible na hindi nila i-approve yung account mo. For example, kung customer service ka, then iibahin mo yung yung title mo. So, customer support, experienced customer support, or customer care relations, customers, but it's just the same, di ba? Pareho lang lahat. Iniba mo lang yung term para that is your way to get into Upwork. So, sa Upwork, meron doon, nakita nyo ito, Upwork. Or, baka hindi. Teka lang ha.
Yes.
Okay, nakikita. Okay, so that's good. Okay, I'm going to try to sign in sa Upwork para makita nyo yung itsura niya. So, Upwork is, it just takes time. So, kapag na-decline kayo, try nyo lang uli hanggang sa makapasok kayo. At tapos, ang papasok sa feed mo is yung mga trabaho na nilagay mo rin. So, syempre, hindi ka niya lalagyan ng video editing jobs kung yung nilagay mo naman sa profile mo is, yung social media manager. Syempre, hindi ka niya bibigyan ng ng video editing jobs. Ayan. Bakit ganito? Ayan. So sobrang dami, di ba? So, anong ginawa niya sa akin? Ang binigay niya sa feed ko is yung mga anything na podcast related kasi yun ang profile ko. Hindi ba kita? Yan ang profile ko. So, ito yung, ayan, makikita natin na meron silang mga different amounts ng hourly rates kasama na doon sa kanilang posting. So, ang pinaka-importanteng titingnan mo dito ay, syempre, babasahin mo yan, di ba? Babasahin mo, tapos iisipin mo, is this something I can do? If this is something you can do, then definitely send out a proposal. Very important na makita nyo na dapat verified ang payment ni client. Kasi kung hindi, baka matakbuhan kayo, mabudol kayo, sayang. So, dapat makita natin yan. Kasi pag inopen mo yung account na yan, o makita mo, less than 30 hours a week, this means this is a part-time job. Ang project length niya ay less than a month. So, ibig sabihin, this is a project-based. And then, ano daw ang hanap niya? Intermediate lang. Hindi siya naghahanap ng experts. So yung mga free newbies, pwedeng mag-apply dito kasi intermediate lang. So, I am looking for a mix of experience and value. Kung meron ka ng konting experience dito, then you can apply. Another thing here is worldwide. Sasabi niyang worldwide. Ibig sabihin, anyone, as long as you are from Earth, pwede kang mag-apply. Kung taga Mars ka, hindi ka pwede mag-apply kasi hindi, Pero may iba dito na yung location nila is naghahanap sila ng specific location. For example, it is sa US lang ito. Di ibig sabihin, wag ka na mag-apply kasi hindi ka na makakapasok talaga. Ba't ka kunwaring, oh, I'm from New York. Hindi, syempre kasi di ba nga, ang hanap niya ay US lang or kaya naman Latin America lang or kaya Europe lang. Wag na. Doon tayo sa worldwide. And surprisingly, meron din dito naghahanap ng Asian and Philippines. Ayan. So hourly, makikita natin na yung niya is from $16 to $35 ang kaya niyang i-offer na hourly rate para sa trabahong to. Ano ba to? Create a note summary from meeting transcript and audio. So ibig sabihin, for example, nag-meeting tayo ngayon. After ng meeting na to, ang gagawin ni client is isi-save niya, i-upload niya sa Google Drive or kaya sa Dropbox, tapos isi-send niya sa taong to, and then that person is going to create a meeting transcription. Transcription, kanina usap natin, di ba? Transcription, so they are going to convert the audio into a text para ma-review ng client. So that's, ayan. So this one is good. Ang skills and expertise na kailangan nila is tech and IT, meeting notes, content writing, business services, and English. And then makita mo na verified yung payment niya. So this is definitely something na you can apply. So okay siya. Ayan. So ganito ang itsura ng Upwork. So kung nag-apply na kayo ng Upwork at na-decline kayo uli, reward nyo yung ano nyo, i-reward nyo yung trabaho, ay yung ano nyo, yung title nyo. For example, ito, kasi pwede kong sabihin to na podcast manager. But podcast manager is very common. So what did I say? Podcast producer and strategist. Yung nilagay ko, yung title ko sa ano ko, sa work ko or sa expertise ko. Ayan. So Upwork. Tapos kapag kapag nakapasok ka na sa Upwork, syempre ingat ka sa ina-applyan mo kasi si Upwork meron lang siyang mga connects na available. Ibig sabihin every time na magsasubmit ka ng application, nababawasan yung iyong connects. So kung meron kang 20 connects, dapat tipirin mo, budgetin mo. Kasi yung iba nagre-require ng 2 connects lang pag nag-submit ka ng application na yan. Yung iba naman, 5 connects, 20 connects, 10 connects. For example, if I send a proposal for this job, then babawasan ng 2 connects yung current na connects ko na 151. So kung meron akong kung interesado ako dito, I will definitely apply kasi marami naman akong connects, sas 2 lang kailangan. So okay ako dyan. Yan, ganyan. Ano pa ba ang kailangan dito? Upwork users only. Profile visibility. Ayan. Dito, okay. So, dito, ang profile visibility, ang very tricky kasi kay Upwork is, kapag wala ka pang trabaho, private ang profile mo. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka makita ng iba. So, pwede kang mag-apply, but then hindi masisilip ng client yung account mo kasi naka-private siya. So kapag meron ka ng pinirmahang contact, that is the only time that you can your profile can be visible to other people or to the public. So ako, dahil meron akong ongoing na client sa Upwork, I can definitely switch. If I want it private, I can do it. If I want it to be Upwork users lang, pwede rin. Kung gusto ko naman na public, na kahit sa Google search, masa-search niya ako, then I can switch it to public. Ayan. So that is Upwork. Next, we have the Facebook groups. Surprisingly ngayon, sobrang dami nang naghahanap ng trabaho sa Facebook. Okay, let me show you. So, balik tayo doon sa diniscuss nating mga trabaho ha. So, for example, ang napili mo ay social media, o parang sabihin mo na, parang may kirot sa akin yung social media management. Doon na lang siguro ako mag-focus. So, ngayon, maghanap ka ng groups na Facebook maghanap ka ng Facebook groups tapos na related sa social media. So for example, social media, ayan, Social Media Manager Philippines. Hanap tayo dyan. Tapos, ayan, marami kang makikita 5.9. Tapos, ang ginagawa kasi ng mga clients is, zoom in ko lang itong konti. Ang ginagawa ng mga potential clients is, kung kailangan nila ng social media managers, sasali din sila sa group na to. Tapos, pag nakasali na sila, magpo-post na lang yan sila bigla dyan. Hey, I need help with I need a social media manager. Please email, blah, blah, blah. So, meron ka ng, kung hindi ka pa na-approve sa Upwork, then maghanap-hanap ka ng group na pwede mong salihan, then silip-silipin mo from time to time. Scroll ka, and then pag may nakita kang job post doon, then apply. Meron akong sinalihan na podcast podcast group, female podcasters ha. Okay, tapos sisilip-silipin ko lang yan siya from time to time. Tapos ang ginawa ko is may nagtanong, tapos sumagot lang ako sa comment. Alam nyo ang nangyari, nag-reach out sa akin ng isa sa mga members, sabi na, I also need help with podcast production. Na nagkaroon ako ng client dahil lang sumali ako sa Facebook group. So use your Facebook groups well. Alam ko importante ang Hompas Lupa at saka Home Buddies, pero maliban dyan, sali kayo sa ibang groups na sa tingin nyo ay pwede nyo makakuha ng mga clients doon. Ayan. So, how do you make sure that you do not look spammy on Facebook groups? Hindi pwede naman post ka lang, hey, I need client with this, I need client with that. Kasi may mga policies yan, di ba, ang groups na sinusunod. Huwag kang magbalandra lang ng ano mo doon. If you need my service, email me. No, it's not like, it doesn't work that way. Dapat you give value muna. Mag-provide ka muna ng value. Sumagot ka sa mga comments, kunwari alam mo ito. Kasi, di ba nga, you're trying to show people that you are expert at this. So, syempre, pag may nagtanong, sagutin mo doon. Kasi, makikita ng mga tao yan, sobrang daming silent lurkers sa mga groups. Bigla na lang kukontak yan sa'yo. Hey, I need help with this. I need help with that. And then from there, nakahanap ka na ng client. Next, meron tayong LinkedIn. Kung wala kayong Upwork, punta kayo sa LinkedIn. Kasi may mga trabaho na rin sa LinkedIn. Kita natin to, jobs. If you click on that, then you would be able to see iba't ibang mga trabaho. Ayan o. Salary, interview prep, may mga guides dyan. And then you can actually search for jobs. Okay, so let's try to check. Customer Service Manager. Okay. So I can easily see. Ayan o. Ilan ang result? 1,149 jobs naghahanap ng Customer Service Manager. Hanap ako ng social media or video editors. Ayan, freelance video editor. Merong mga nagpo-post ng tungkol sa, ayan, this one is posted 5 days ago. So, merong trabaho sa LinkedIn. May trabaho sa Facebook, may trabaho sa Upwork. Hindi na lang limited sa Upwork lang yung pwede nating hanapan ng trabaho. Jobs are now everywhere. Again, going back sa puhunan natin, kailangan natin maging consistent and determined in looking for these jobs. Kasi hindi yan sila huhulog, hindi yan sila ulan. Kailangan nating hanapin sila every day. Okay, next. What else do we have here? LinkedIn. Onlinejobs.ph. Onlinejobs.ph is another online platform na mas madaling pumasok dito kaysa sa Upwork. So, punta tayo sa onlinejobs.ph. Okay. Ano ang importante na dapat meron ka dito sa mga online platforms na to? Kailangan kompleto ang information mo. Syempre, ipapakita mo dito yung sino ka, this is just a sample ha. Hindi ako nagre-rate dito ng $18 sa onlinejobs.ph. Pero yun ang nilagay kong kasi sige, kung kailangan nyo na kontakin nyo na lang ako. Pag hindi, wag na tayong mag-usap. Ganon. Habang tumatagal ka sa freelancing, you can be demanding na sa salary mo pagdating ng panahon. Kasi meron ka ng experience to back you up. Pero, kapag nagsisimula ka pa lang, kahit $5 per hour is really, really good already. Okay, so what did we have here? Onlinejobs.ph. Importante na kumpletuhin mo to. Itong mga desk scores niya, yung experience mo, dapat nilalagay mo yan dyan para mabilis makita yan ng mga potential clients. And then, of course, parang hindi ito yung Hindi ito yung pinaka-profile ko. Teka, ayan, my profile. Ayan, ito yung pinaka-profile ko. Ito yung nakikita ng client sa akin pag sinilip nila yung account ko. So, nandito na, di ba, yung expected salary ko, yung educational attainment ko, yung availability ko, at saka yung information ko. Dito sa baba, ito ang pinaka-importanting lagyan nyo. Skill summary. Paano mo, dito mo na ibubuhos lahat. Kasi hindi lahat ng clients kukontakin ka agad eh. Yung iba, sisilip lang muna. So how do you make sure that your profile looks presentable to these clients? Siyempre, dapat ibigay mo na all out mo doon. Doon pa lang sa skill summary. Ayan. Ito nga, hindi ko na ito masyadong kasi nag-focus ako ngayon sa Upwork. Pero ayan. So helping podcasters, at a glance, alam na nila agad kung ano yung ino-offer mong trabaho. And then, of course, itong mga skills, kailangan mo yan, check-checkan, ganyan. Dapat kompleto yan sila para kung kukontakin ka man nila, about meeting na tayo, usap na tayo, ganyan. So, yan ang onlinejobs.ph. So, pupunta ka lang dito sa job board. Ang maganda dito sa onlinejobs.ph, unlike sa Upwork na kailangan mo ng connects, dito, pwede kang mag-apply ng 10 applications. Pwede kang mag-send ng 10 applications every day. So, pag naubos mo yung 10 tapos walang bumalik sa'yo, excuse me guys, pag naubos mo yung 10 tas walang bumalik sa'yo, okay lang. Hintayin mo lang mag-refresh tapos mag-send ka uli. Hindi ka yung parang hindi ka magmumukhang, ay, kawawa naman to, wala namang, hindi nakikita ng clients na nag-apply ka pala na nag-apply tas walang tumatanggap sa'yo. Hindi. Ikaw lang nakakaalam niyan. Kaya, wag mo nang, don't be too hard on yourself kasi ikaw lang din naman yon. Ay, it doesn't matter. Wala naman silang Kami lang ni Lord yung may alam. So, apply ka na lang uli next. And then, syempre, ang ibibigay niya lang din uli sa'yo na jobs ay yung relevant sa nilagay mong expertise mo. So, ang nilagay ko dito sa online jobs kasi, podcast at saka customer service. So, yun ang binibigay niya sa akin. Meron din akong writing, kaya ito yung mga different types of jobs na binibigay niya. But you can also search diretso, project manager. Ayan. And then, nandyan na yung mga project managers. Ang tip ko is, do not apply for any jobs that are posted 3 days or more. So, the sooner it got posted and the sooner you are able to send your application, the better. Kasi, chances are, kung 5 days ago yun, in-applyan mo, malamang nakakuha na yun ng sayang yung oras mo na nag-submit ka pa kasi it's likely 50 plus day nakapag-submit doon. So, ayan. So, ito ang onlinejobs.ph. If you do not have an account yet and onlinejobs.ph is a good start for you on Facebook and LinkedIn. Kasi habang hinihintay mo ma-approve yung Upwork mo, punta ka sa online jobs and other places that you can look for a job. Okay, next. Ayun. Close ko yata. Okay. Ayan. So resume tips. Dito na tayo sa resume ha. Back in the days, dahil mas matanda yata ako majority sa inyo, ang ginagawa pag nag-apply, biodata lang, parang check female, male, mga ganun lang. Pero ngayon, resume na yung ginagawa natin, di ba? So, resume. Pick the right resume and format. Ang kagandahan dito is may Canva na tayo para sa mga templates na ito. So, ang lang is, wag mo naman kopyahin lahat sa Canva. Wag mo naman kopyahin lahat sa Canva. So, pag pili ka ng templates, tapos modify mo yon para meron siyang sariling feel na sa'yo. Ipalitan mo yung colors, palitan mo yung fonts, and then, modify it from there. Kasi, a lot of people are using Canva now also. The last thing you want is for your application to have the same template ng Canva doon sa pag kita ng client, ba't pareho sila ng template? Hindi, di ba? So make sure that you modify. Kahit na Canva template 'yan, dapat na mo modify mo para kahit pa paano may personal feel siya sa iyo. Ayan. And then of course, you prepare one resume but update or edit based on the job posting. Kasi for example, meron akong, ipakita ko sa inyo, sobrang dami kong, portfolio. Nung actively nag-a-apply pa ako, ayan. So, meron akong main na resume, tapos ini-edit ko yan siya. So, kaya meron akong Nilin Matugas na executive assistant, Nilin Matugas na podcast manager, Nilin Matugas na project manager, Nilin Matugas na VA lang. Iba-iba, same look yan silang lahat. Pinalitan ko lang yung pinalitan ko lang yung header. Kasi, kasi ang goal mo is, dapat, mas fitted sa hanap ng client mo, the better. So, kung ang hanap niya ay virtual assistant and social media manager, syempre, wag mo i-submit yung project manager mo na resume. So, ganun ang tip ko, like pro tip ko sa inyo. Kung may nakita kayong gustong applyan, tapos ang nakasulat ay iba sa resume na nilagay nyo na, palitan nyo para nakikita ng resume doon pa lang nakikita ng client na doon pa lang, this might be a possible applicant I can hire. And then of course, check and double check to make sure there is no typo. Ano ang guide natin dahil hindi naman talaga tayo English speakers? Ang guide natin for grammar checking is definitely Grammarly. So kung wala pa kayong Grammarly, i-install nyo sa Chrome nyo para pag may mga minor lapses sa grammar natin, sa mga in versus on, sa mga at versus to and from. Hindi tayo mahusay dyan sa preposition. Bakit? Kasi Hindi natin yan. Sa Tagalog, ano ba yan sila? Sa ilalim, sa taas, sa ano. Puro lang yan sila sa. So kaya nalilito talaga sa in front, in, on, at. Very confusing. So meron tayong Grammarly para dyan. Kaya gamitin nyo, maximize nyo yung use of Grammarly. And then, add your name and contact information. Of course, kung meron kayong email address niya, purplebeautifulgirl@gmail.com, huwag niyo nang gamitin yun, ha? Gamitin niyo na yung mga professional emails niyo. What are professional emails? Your first and last name @gmail.com or @yahoo.com. Yun na yung ano na yun. Huwag na yung imogirl2120_08@gmail.com. Wag na ganun. Wag na gamitin yun. Ayan. And then, of course, your name and contact information. And then write a standout resume headline. Yun nga yung nasa taas na ano ba talaga yung service na pinoprovide mo. And then detail of your work experiences. If you have experience na in the past, isulat mo kung anong company, kung saang location, yung job title mo doon. If you can, in fact, add kung ano yung mga tasks na ginagawa mo doon, the better. And then start and end dates. Now, if you have a client already, hingian mo sila ng feedback and then ilagay mo yan doon sa ano mo, sa portfolio mo para may ano ka na kaagad, yung may makita na nila, oh, may background na to siya. Ayan, client feedback. Yan, 'di ba? Hiningian ko yung mga previous clients ko, tapos ginamit ko, nilagay ko sa resume ko para kahit paano ma-prove ko sa kanila na meron na akong maayos na track record. Nakapagtrabaho na ako, you will not be the first time hindi mo pagsisisihan na ako yung kinuha mo. Ayan. Cover letter. What is a cover letter? So hindi lang tayo resume ngayon, meron na din tayong cover letter. Ang cover letters ay ito yung sinesend natin sa client every time na mag-ano sila. Sa mga jobs, ang sinesend natin ay either cover letter or resume, depende sa hinihingi nila. Pero most of the time, it is definitely cover letter and resume. So you make sure that you have those already. It's okay kung meron na kayong naka-ready na cover letter, but please do not ever copy-paste lang, copy-paste. Kasi akala mo the more entries you send, the more chances of winning. No. Kasi dapat customized ang iyong mga cover letters na pinapadala mo sa mga job seekers. So cover letters usually includes like of course a header and then a greeting, writing an opening paragraph. So in the first paragraph of your letter, mention kung ano yung job title na you're applying for, where you saw the position, and then explain the specific interest in the role, bakit interesado ka nito, and so that the reader knows you've done your research and are genuinely interested. Kaya nga sinasabi ko na kahit na meron kayong ready na cover letter, make sure na iniiba nyo yan, nire-reward nyo yan based sa pangangailangan ng clients. Kasi do not ever copy-paste everything sa cover letter. Kasi hindi yan makakatulong sa'yo. Hindi yan makakatulong sa'yo para makapag-apply ka. Okay, so and then after that, meron tayong follow with a second paragraph. So your second paragraph should be a brief overview about your background, relevant to the position, and then your closing paragraph should focus on another key achievement or skills that is relevant to the position. Instead of repeating the details from your resume, i-expand mo pa on specific stories and anecdotes. Ayan. And then, of course, end with a professional sign-off. Keep it positive by saying something like, oh, I am excited to hear back from you and discuss this opportunity further. So, or kaya naman, should you have any questions, let me know. I am available anytime. Mga ganong mga diskartihan. Ito yung flowery words, dito na papasok yon. Ayan. So, mga cover letters na nag-work sa akin in the past is, share ko sa inyo, pero nasa Canva yon. Si Dr. Berry, natuwa siya sa cover letter ko, kaya niya ako kinuha noon. Like, very, very long time ago. So, i-share ko lang based doon sa sample na sinend ko sa inyo. Ayan. Okay, so ang hanap dito ay podcast producer, producing and promoting a weekly podcast. So, ang ginawa ko is, ito. Okay. So based doon sa sa sinend kong sample sa inyo, ito ang sabi ko. Hope you're having a great day. Tingnan nyo kung may pangalan siya. In my case, hindi ko So you can pag may nakita kayong pangalan ng job seeker, make sure to use it. Wag nang hi there, hi, hello, mga ganun lang. Hi hiring manager, dear hiring manager. Pag nakita nyo na meron namang pangalan, pwede na diretsuhin nyo na yun. Hi David, hi Peter, hi John, ganyan. Kasi they like it when it's more personalized. So sabi ko lang, I hope you're having a great day. I was browsing through job ads for a possible new podcast partner for growth, and I found your job post. I am thrilled to send my application and possibly work with you on bringing quality podcast episodes for your listeners. Dito sa part na to, ang ginawa ko is, sinabi ko sa kanya kung paano ko siya nahanap, and then kung anong feeling ko na bakit ako nag-apply, and then meron na agad brief intro on what I can do for him. And that is to bring quality podcast episodes for your listeners. And then from there, inano ko yung information ng qualification ko. I am Nilina. I am a podcast manager for more than 2 years, which I believe make me the best fit for this job. I help podcasters focus more on their core business functions by launching, producing, and promoting quality podcast episodes. I have strong knowledge and experience of the podcast process from pre-recording to episode launch and promotion. I post-produce both video and audio format files. So, very short and sweet, pero nandoon na lahat. Ano yung ginawa ko, ano yung expertise ko, at anong kaya kong gawin para sa kanya. And then, nilagyan ko ng statistics. Over time, I have launched 10 podcasts, produced 210 episodes, written 150 show notes. And then, mga details on what I can do for him. Here is my portfolio. So, dinagdagan ko ng resume ito. Pero ibang portfolio na kasi yung sinesend ko ngayon, kasama na yung mga information about sa ginagawa ko. Mga services ko, mga sample work ko, nandiyan na lahat. So, para wala na, to avoid a lot of back and forths, nandoon na lahat para sa kanya, to review na lang. Saan na yun? Ayan. Tapos, I would be honored. Ang sabi ko sa dulo, positive scripting. I would be honored to partner with you. Looking forward to discuss further. Take care. So, ayan. Nag-meeting kami, and then the rest is history. Hanggang ngayon magkatrabaho pa rin kami ni David. He's a very kind Ayan. So, yun. Bakit ganun yung naging linyahan ko is because binasa ko muna. Binasa ko muna kung ano yung kailangan niya dito. Ang sabi niya is, podcast producer producing and promoting a weekly podcast. Yan. Ito lang yung niya, nilagay niya. Job posting, silipin natin. Ayan. Very short, pero yung reply ko is nandoon na lahat, binigay ko na sa kanya. Qualified naman ako bakit worldwide? Ano pa yon? More than 6 months. So ang project length niya is more than 6 months. Part-time, and then he was looking for a mix of experience and value daw. And then yung mga expertise niya ay ito lahat. So that is something I can do, and I can help him. So I sent my resume. My cover photo and resume. Tapos, ito si Dr. Berry back in 2019. Ayan. So, ang ginawa ko naman dito, chinika ko siya. Sabi ko, I saw your job post. I was excited. Like, whoa, the job that is tailor fit for me. Di ba mga flowery words? Minsan gustong-gusto nila yan. I should send my cover letter ASAP. So, here I am trying to at least make you wow for the next 2 minutes. I know you're such a busy person. I have checked your website. So, I will keep this short but detailed. And then, a few information about sa akin, ginagawa ko, at kung ano yung may tutulong ko sa kanya. Here is the link to my CV or my resume. And you can also check my portfolio here dahil meron na akong ginawang website. Ayan. And then yung aking mga portfolio website, and then yung aking personal blog. Bakit? Kasi ang hanap naman niya dito is writers. So sabi niya, I must say I am really impressed with your resume and website. Let's schedule an interview. Hanggang ngayon, 3 years na kami ni Dr. Berry, nag-work pa rin kami together. So, very important na basahin natin. Wag yung, VA, sige, send ko na to agad. Kailangan ko makasampu. Ngayon, send ko na to lahat. Hindi ganon. Dapat basahin mo, intindihin mo kung ano yung kailangan niya, and then make sure that you understand. May ibang mga job post na sinasabi nila sa dulo, if you read this far, when sending your applications, please add orange to your subject title. Alam nila yan kasi kung hindi mo yan binasa, ibig sabihin, hindi mo nasunod agad yung nakat na nila agad kung sino yung nagpa-follow ng instructions. So it's very important na basahin natin ang lahat ng mga job post kasi doon lang natin maiintindihan yung mga instructions nila kung ano yung kailangan nila. Ayan. So never say hi there or dear hiring manager if there's a job seeker name on the job post. Review the website of the job seeker if there's any added and use that to your advantage. For example, may iba dito nagsasabi, I need help with my website and the website is this. I-search mo yan kaagad. Pag meron kang lead kung ano yung potential na company na tutulungan mo, gamitin mo yun kaagad. Parang, oh, I have read your website and I see, I think that it is a very good website for you to help out these kinds of people. Para malaman nila na, oh, nag-review tong taong to, hindi lang to nag-send. Ayan. If there's a special instruction on the application, make sure to follow those. Again, madalas dito nagsasabi na, on your subject line, please add these words. Ganyan. Ginagamit nila yan para malaman nila kung sino yung nagbabasa. Kasi towards the end nila yan nilalagay yung instruction na yan. Yung mga hindi sumunod sa instruction na yon, wala na yun agad. Hindi man lang nila kahit i-review man lang yung resume mo doon. Diretso na yun sila. Oh, ialisin na natin to, hindi na ito kasama sa cut. So we do not want that. That's why make sure that you read and then understand, and then that's the only time you send your application and your cover letter. Interview tips. Okay, so kunwari na kausap na kayo at nag-i-interview na. Ayan. Pag madalas, kapag papunta na kayo sa interview, madalas meron na yung information about the interviewer's website. Make sure to review that before the interview. And then, magbaon ka ng mga questions na pwede mong itanong sa kanya about his business para doon pa lang alam niya na, oh, this person is really serious about this job. This person did their part. This person reviewed. This person understands what I need and is ready to provide service. Address them by their first name. Hindi tayo, nagmi-miss ni Lynn, Filipino yan. Sa US, pwede na first name basis lang sila. Okay lang yan sa kanila. Pero kung doctor sila, very particular ang mga doctors. So if you see that they are doctors, lagyan mo ng doctor yung pangalan nila. Doctor and first name. Ayan. And then ask questions relating to the work to show them you are interested in the post. Parang, oh, I've seen that you have started back in this year. What were your challenges so far when it comes to customer support? Kung customer support ang ina-applyan mo. Or kaya naman, kung social media manager ang ina-applyan mo, tatanong mo, oh, how long have you worked with a social media manager in the past? I've checked your Instagram profile and it's really good. Who was doing that before? Yan, mga ganon. Para lang to show to them na nag-review ka before mo sila kinausap. And then of course, smile. Kasi okay lang kahit ang kabado-kabado na yan. Basta nakangiti, hindi na yan halata. And then lastly, do not forget to pray before your interview. Kasi sometimes, you thought it was you, but it was the leading of the Holy Spirit. We need God's guidance when it comes to applying and talking to these potential clients. Yan. Kasi I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and that's it. That is very true. The reason why we are different from the others is because we have God. We trust na He would be able to do what is best for us. Ayan. I understand that not everyone is a risk taker, especially the breadwinners. So may mga breadwinners na meron ng trabaho ngayon pero gusto nilang alisan but just cannot. Kasi paano na lang, kailangan ko din yung income na to, kailangan ko din tong trabahong to, paano na lang, what ifs, na ngayong kinukonsume tayo ng what ifs. What if hindi pala ako pumasa? What if hindi pala ako makakuha agad ng trabaho? What if mahirap pala talaga siya? Iniwan ko na, nag-resign na ako. What if ganito? What if ganyan? What worked for me, because I was not a very risk taker also. I'm very conservative when I started sa online jobs ko. Kasi nasa Metro Manila ako noon. Nagre-rent ako, akong gumagastos ng sarili kong pagkain, sarili kong ano. So you can imagine, wala akong savings. Kaya you can imagine na hindi pwede na bigla na lang ako mawalan ng trabaho. So that was my hesitation. Paano ko na-resolve yan na habang nag-a-apply pa rin. So what I did was, habang nagtatrabaho pa ako sa call center, nagsisend na ako ng applications sa Upwork. Sa Upwork doon. Every day nagsisend ako ng application. So my job is safe. May trabaho pa rin ako. And then, nung meron ng potential client na nag-contact sa akin, sinabi ko sa kanya, I still have a job, but I really want this position, but I want to also be able to do a graceful exit. Sabi ko sa kay Karen. Si Karen yung unang client ko before. I hope it's fine with you that you give me at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks to render my resignation with the current job. So yun ang sabi ko sa kanya. And she was flexible enough to say na, okay, sige, I would for now we can start part-time, sabi niya. So 4 hours ka lang muna for the next 2 weeks para matutunan mo na yung business, matutunan mo na yung work. At the same time, nagre-render ka rin ng resignation mo. And then, after ng last day ko, that's the time na nag-start na ako ng full-time sa kanya. So this is something that you can do, especially marami dito sa atin call center agents. So this is definitely something that you can do. You can keep looking for a job while still working. Pero, apply pa rin ng apply. And then kapag merong interview, usually naman these people are from the US. So ibig sabihin, sa mga day shift, kayang-kaya nyong puntahan yung interview at night, gigising na lang kayo para makausap nyo sila. Pero minsan may mga ibang clients na sila ang magsisend sa'yo ng calendar nila, so makakapili ka ng availability nila and make sure that it matches yours. May mga ganong depende lang din. And depende lang talaga. If you do not take a little risk, you will be, puro ka na lang what if. Ano kaya kung ginawa ko talaga to? Ano kaya nangyari sa akin kung nag-try talaga ako? Ano kaya? So let's avoid the what ifs by starting little risks here and there. So again, look for a part-time jobs or an output-based jobs kung hindi pa kayo sure na if it's for you, yung parang testing waters pa lang kayo. Look for a part-time job or an output-based job. Yung mga fixed rate, yung mga walang hinihinging schedule, kasi yun ang pinaka-fitting na job para sa'yo. Again, onlinejobs.ph alone gives you 10 applications per day. So, pwede kang mag-send ng up to 10 every day, and then after the next day, mag-send uli hanggang sa pasasaan mayroong babalik sa'yo. It took me 6 months dati sa Upwork, bago may pumansin sa resume ko. So, kung nag-resign ako kaagad nang wala pa akong trabaho noon, definitely kabadong-kabado na ako. Baka umuwi na ako sa amin kasi wala na akong makakain. But because yun ang ginawa ko, pag uwi ko from work sa call center, nagsisend ako ng application. Yun ang naging paraan sa akin para hindi siya maging sobrang risky, but at the same time, I am freeing myself from all the what ifs. What ifs hindi ko to ginawa. So, yon ang maipapayo ko sa inyo, lalo na kayo na mga may full-time jobs. Look for a job and then look for a part-time or output-based job, and then when you are ready to leave, then go ahead and leave. So, yon ang And if you finally get an online job, let me know so we can celebrate together. It doesn't matter if the maliit na job or project-based or importante is you are able to start already. That's a very good starting step already for you on your online freelancing journey. Ayan. Thank you.